Welcome, everybody. Now it's for the YouTube as well. Look at
Bam!
that. Nobody saw.
Blam! Nothing happened. What?
Nothing happened except for we gotta talk about our sponsors, y'all. So let's talk. First of all, huge thank you to Roll20. We are part of the Roll20 Ambassador Program, and it's thanks to them that we have this cool VTT with all of the beautiful things inside of it pre-generated, which is far less work for me. But also, and specifically, we have to say thank you to Eldritch. I will never not say that.
I believe in you.
Eldritch Osiris Games.
There it is.
There it is. And y'all know that Eldritch Osiris Games is the first ttrpg's workers co-op in history. Eldritch Osiris Games is built on the foundation of giving voices to creative authors who don't normally have a roadmap into the publishing industry. They push for a diverse set of voices in the company as diverse a set of voices as they can, and regardless of a person's identity. Part of the foundation is equality, with every person in the staff having a say on all important decisions the company makes. Being the first TTRPG co-op, they are here to set an example that a workers' equality is not only possible, but instead become the industry standard. And you know what? That's something we stand behind, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
Also, they make really cool Pathfinder2e content, which you can find on Pathfinder Infinite, or I believe on their own website, eldritchosirisgames.com. They did want to mention 2 of their newest products, which include Psychics Gone Wild and Thaumaturge's Wrath, which are their 2 Dark Archive expansions. If any of y'all are Pathfinder2e gurus, aficionados, if you will, you'll know about the Dark Archives that recently was the hot thing that everybody was talking about, because Pathfinder did some cool stuff with that. Paizo, I should say, did some really cool stuff with some of those secret things that they sent out to the community that the community had to work together to figure out and figure out all the clues to do. It was really cool. But anyways, go check out Psychics Gone Wild and Thaumaturge's Wrath on Pathfinder Infinite. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for believing in us. Thanks for sponsoring us. You guys rock. We appreciate you. Okay.
Thank the heavens.
Yes. At least somebody does. No, kidding.
Somebody believes in us, because I know I don't.
On that note, y'all, let's take it to the intro video and get this show on the road. Hey, we'll see you in class. Oh, sorry, just cleaning the camera lens there. Hey, y'all.
So many fingers.
We all were like, what if
so
we
happy.
come back in and we're all just pointing at the camera? And then we did it, but we didn't think of the bit to follow through with it. We were just
I wasn't ready.
There was no bit.
You just got pointed at. That's it.
You just got pointed at.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I remember it was this. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Take your seats. We're hitting class right now. Hitting class? That's
I'm
what
gonna.
people say nowadays.
Pop in that class.
That's just.
Okay, so no, sorry. This is supposed to be the transition to being serious.
Is
To
it?
Never.
being
Well,
Where have you been the last 20 episodes?
Yo.
Your
Maybe
first
I don't
episode
know
one.
if it's
Maybe
been
episode
here.
one.
Welcome,
That's it.
everybody. I'm gonna cut
There
it
we
real
go.
hard right now.
There you go.
YouTube magic later. No one will know a thing.
Don't edit that, Waffles. Please don't.
I'm not.
You can't contain us, Syrup. You cannot.
So, friends. Hey, y'all know we're at 920 followers on Twitch. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah! Let's go!
Yeah.
1,000. Let's go!
Anyways, well, take a seat. Take a seat. Come join us. Come sit into class a little bit. Audit our show.
But also pay us
No
money
credit.
though. But also pay us money
No,
though.
yeah,
But
but
also
also
give
pay
us
us
money
money.
though.
Outcast and Outclassed. College loans.
Paying back one episode at a time.
Oh my god.
We need an
40K to
episode
go.
titled that. Okay, I'm sorry.
We're gonna go
Oh
for it.
my
We're
God.
gonna be serious. We
Okay, we got
promise.
this.
We got this.
Let's
But
play a game.
to our podcast and YouTube listeners, do know that this is a little taste of what you get beforehand when you get us live.
Yep.
Because
It's
you
a
know,
treat.
every
We're
other
a
time we're
treat.
perfectly professional
We're
and
gems.
on point.
We're a delight.
Mm.
You'd be
We're
better for
delights.
knowing us.
I don't like the I don't like the tone of that voice there, Maria. It sounded a little sarcastic. I think we are very wonderful, gems.
I've
But-
never been more serious in my life.
All right, y'all. We're really into it now. So last time we completed our second week of downtime, in which y'all got some boons by the end of it, but not without a little bit of hard work, and for one Arafe, a little bit of putting yourself in the shoes of others, perhaps, or experiencing one of the best sound design scenes we've ever had live, thanks to Waffles, to be honest. And
On
it
Twitch,
was a
period.
taste of oversensitization, which was really cool and run really, really well. So from that, though, a new spell was born, as well as some new abilities and other little boons for our other friends that were in the brand new sparring club that was made on campus, in which currently I believe the members are Ark, Tal, Duval. Yep.
Duval.
I saw your
Dragon
name
Ball
as
Z.
Jacob on
Sorry,
Zoom, and I
I
was
forgot to
like,
change
not
it on the
Jacob.
thing. Let me change it. Sorry.
But I love how my brain was like, not Jacob. It's his real name.
Definitely
so
not.
Duval.
Definitely do well.
Definitely do.
And
Not that other
and
that
Hideaki.
Jacob guy.
We have Essie and Okoro as well, and it even caught the eyes of a teacher, Ayuari, I believe.
He joined.
He joined the club
Yeah,
too.
for sure. We're gonna teach him a
He's
lot.
But important to
Sponsor.
note,
That Ark had the
Important
best
to
comeback
note.
ever.
that too, however,
that locked
he
and loaded.
also got trusted with the keys to the storage by teacher Ayuari, something that perhaps meant something to Ark, perhaps a little sign of, oh, I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing good. But all that is wound down, and we begin as promised with study checks right off the bat. I didn't forget.
Oh, I've been thinking about it all day.
It's like when you show up
I
in
get to
class
use-
and they're like, pop quiz.
I
Yep.
get to use my widow dice.
Your widow dice.
My widow
Little
dice.
dice.
Oh, they're so small. I'd lose them immediately.
You carry
On that
around
D4 so
in.
quick.
They go in
So-
here.
I would lose the
This
box.
This should hopefully be somewhere on y'all's character sheets as we talked about last time, so I want to double check. Do y'all know what your current branch level is in the branch that you studied in last time?
0.
Yes. True, Ark failed, I believe.
0 and butt.
So Hideaki, you rolled last time for your primary branch, the Cascade Bearers, is that correct?
I did. That is
Did you get
correct.
a natural 20? Is
I
that
did.
correct?
You are
So
correct.
that means you have 2 points in Cascade Bearers, is that correct?
I do. That is also correct.
Amazing. As a reminder, you cannot have points higher than your level cap. So it sounds like Hideaki is going to be studying perhaps in his secondary branch this time around.
That's the plan.
Talia, do you have the Sojourning Song?
Is me.
How many points do you have, and in what branch?
1, and I don't actually remember.
In your primary branch, I believe. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure.
I will take your word for that.
We'll say yep. And I'm going to say that then I have you down as the Cascade Bearers as well, along with Hideaki. And then Arc 2, you failed at the time, but I believe you were in Rainscribe or Zinjanti?
He succeeds in literally everything else, okay?
It's a sentence that's never going to happen in game. It's only going to be the meta.
Yep.
It's true. You said yes to Rainscribes?
Yeah, I was in the Rainscribes.
And thanks to some of the story that we progressed in the previous episodes, you have switched over to a primary branch of the Cascade Bearers alongside Hideaki and Tal.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It is, and I'm level 2 now there already. Prior to this roll. I'm just
debatable. Debatable. You can manifest that,
Where's
though.
perception?
Wait, there is me going, how'd you do that?
I'm used to Waffles' deadpan. And then Arafe, you now the sole individual primarying in the Rainscribes. Is that correct?
I'm so lonely.
So lonely inside
And
me.
you have
a
1
row.
or 2 points in Rainscribes currently.
We have 2 points in Rainscribe.
2 points in the Rainscribes. Amazing. Did we have like all critical successes last time?
No, I got a regular.
Oh, it was. I thought it was Talon and Hideaki, but it is not. It is Arafe and Hideaki that did it. Perfect.
2 out of
Okay.
4.
So Arafe, you are also going to be rolling in your secondary, which I believe is actually the Tempest Sun Mages.
Yep.
That's so funny. The two of you that actually share that as your secondary, Hideaki and Arafe, that's awesome. That you guys both got nat 20s and have to now do these together, which is adorable. And
You were
Let's
too
go.
good.
you crammed,
Heck yeah.
which will be a little bit different than anything else, to try to catch up with the head of the class that is Hideaki, unfortunately. How does that make you feel?
Unfortunately, huh?
Fortunately.
No,
All right.
Ark, how's that make you feel? I'm talking
it's
to Ark
alright.
here.
I mean, if he catches up, then it's where he belongs. He just started late.
Yeah, Hideaki just had a head start, right? That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, sure.
Tortoise and hare scenario.
I love Ark.
And then it comes down to Tal. Are you going to try to study further in your main primary branch? You trying to keep going in Cascade Bearers, or are you gonna try to get a point in Uzunjanti, which are the storytellers?
I think, based on all of the extracurricular activities, narratively speaking, I think they would stick with their primary for this one.
Sure.
Just because of all of the things like with the Fight Club and everything that they've been doing. And also, like, it makes sense that, I mean, Ark's basically been cramming, but like, there's a period of time where Ark is not cramming, and they're kind of working not on the same things, but like in the same classes.
Yeah, and it's possible that, like, you know, you see how hard Ark is working in the Cascade Bearer classes and kind of join alongside that. So,
yeah. Using Ark as the frame of reference as to how hard I should be studying is not necessarily a healthy thing, but it is what Tal is doing.
But it's what's happening, and I can't wait to see the results of that.
I'm sure it's going to be fine and not a total burnout.
I'm going to take a quick second to grab the standard DCs, which is what we're going to base this off of. However, we can also, let me tell y'all what you're going to be rolling. So y'all, as I close the page on there, hold on.
Is it academic lore for our various places? Because if so, I got that.
It is not.
Dang.
So it is pending what the branch is. So Cascade Bearers, you guys can roll Arcana, Occultism, or Religion. Tempest Sun Mages, you can roll Intimidation or Performance. This is not that. Yeah, okay, cool. So,
What about the Uzunjanti?
I'm not doing Uzunjanti, so it doesn't matter.
I'm asking, 'cause
Clam.
what if I critically
Oh.
succeed on my first cram?
Crafting and Lore. any lore you like.
Okay, thanks.
Wait a minute. Wait. Does that mean? Wait a minute. But then you and I are sharing the same primary and secondary, and I think that's pretty dope.
Yup.
I
Yep.
completely agree. Hideaki,
Serendipitous.
I'm teaching the class. I am not bothered. Peace.
Okay, but you're
No,
not in
love
Luz
it.
and Jonte, where you have to bear your soul in art.
I'm busy saving the world on the Tempest Sun Mages, baby girl.
Oh, well then.
This is taking a turn. I don't know how I feel.
This is
I'm
suddenly
pulling
Just wait for the roleplay, baby.
I'm getting this over here. So, while I do that, why don't y'all get some rolls going?
Cool.
here?
Before we do that, I want to remind chat that you can give us hero points with channel points. Please do so liberally
I want to remind.
and with no favoritism, but I am your favorite.
Yeah, that's true. I want to remind everyone that I do have a hero points.
I have 2.
And
I
a
have
reminder
0.
that you cannot have more than 3. So give all your
Unless
hero
your
points
name is
to Hideaki
Syrup.
because he can't use them. Unless it's
Tao
I
got
have-
one. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
Nick.
Damn, Nick's on it.
Oh, I'm
baby.
sorry. Actually, it's Talia over here. So it's
Talia
Talia.
Talia. It's just not gonna work.
I'm so sorry. It's unlucky.
I guess you just have to give another hero point, Nick.
Guess you'll have to.
Okay, where are my standard DCs? Where are you?
Should I just roll my Arcana? My nat 20 real quick?
Oh,
Get that nat 20 out of the way.
If you
Get
do-
that roll 20 out there.
I will love it.
Oh, it's not a
dirty
nat
20 though, which is
Not
nice.
20. That's all right.
I'll assume that's a success. Because if it's not, then that's unlucky.
Roll point.
1 second.
I feel like a roll over 10 with a +9 in my skill should be a success.
Here's hoping.
Ark, let's start with you because you're cramming, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because you are 2 or more levels below your limit, which is true. Realizing that you're falling behind in your studies, you cram more than you probably should. Study twice, each in a branch that satisfies the activity's requirements. However, the extra studying comes at a price. Until the next time you take the study downtime activity, you're particularly tired from all the extra hours cramming. So at the start of each day of adventuring, you must succeed at a DC 8 flat check or be fatigued for that day. So I'm going
Let's
to
go.
make that call as we go and see that impact.
What do you mean make that call? Just roll every day like we're doing something?
Yeah, like when on the days, like I'll decide how long it lasts basically, because like on the days that we're doing stuff.
Okay.
Because we didn't do it during the downtime side of things.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're gonna study twice, which means the DC currently is going to be the standard DC of the branch's level. The branch's level is currently 0, so your DC is 14. I do believe that's pass, but only a regular success. So increase the level of the branch you chose by 1.
Hype.
So this is where it gets a little bit interesting because you do cram twice. You do study twice,
Yeah.
but it has to be in a branch that satisfies the activity requirements, which now that you're level 1, you are not 2 less than, but we talked about this and it's a little bit wonky, so we're gonna say basically, because that's the whole point, to be able to potentially catch up. I believe we talked about this, right, where it is that you're gonna be able to study twice in this same one.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I'm fine with making the call, whatever, but we talked about it and we were like, it doesn't, at early levels, it would never make sense to cram because if you succeeded your first one, you can't roll your second.
Right.
So
okay.
my thought was it's kind of like doing extra credit work. It's not like I'm taking 2 tests. I'm catching up over the same amount of time kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where when you're falling behind, you're potentially 2 or more levels below the limit on both your primary and your secondary, which is when you are encouraged to cram. But who knows? I'm the GM and we're making it up as we go along. So for right now, you can do it for the same one, and maybe we'll change later. We'll see.
You're playing a TTRPG? Is that what you mean? What?
Oh my god, broken version, everybody.
Oh no.
Oh crap. All right, so roll again, please.
I actually think, for sake of rules and stuff, not only rules, but for sake of arc as well, and the fact that I could get a critical success, that I want to do my second in Uzanjanti.
Okay, perfect. So you catch up. Now, this is very interesting because in our downtime, you talked about how you were cramming the whole first half and really studying hard to catch up on the Cascade Bears, which got you, as we have found out now, up to 1 point in Cascade Bears. Cascade Bears. So what was Ark doing in that time that gave him some of that training in Uzanjanti? And you could roll beforehand if you would like to find out kind of how that goes story-wise.
Yeah, I have a thought, but I'm going to roll beforehand. Okay.
Okay, let's do
I'm
it.
going to roll crafting.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, 22.
22. Just a normal
Nice,
success.
nice, nice, nice.
Yep, which gives Uzanjanti by 1.
Yep. So my thought being, he's been in Uzanjanti just as long, and he actually wasn't studying at all for Uzanjanti, very purposely, knowing that kind of how Ark behaves, knowing that it should be his speed, and he really only needed to study to catch up in Cascade Bears.
Cascade Bears.
Yeah, and so he really put all his studying there because he was behind. He was 0 while everyone else was 2. And in the fact of like a numerical standard, if he goes to 1 and there's still 2, he's catching up. And so story-wise, he didn't study at all for the Uzanjanti. It's his natural crafting skills from like being an android and back home and stuff.
Okay.
Love that.
I would like to add one potential other thing, and this is this is going to be the start of a thread, as you are now level 1 in Uzanjanti. So first of all, for Cascade Bears, please add the Academia Lore skill to your character sheet. And for Uzanjanti, you get to pick any lore you would like. Because you're going to pick any lore you would like, I would like Ark to think about some of the time he's had in in Sparring Club. We don't talk about it.
Amazing.
About how you, even though as the teacher, you had moments with Tal that you were shown the prowess of acrobatics, the importance of stretching, the importance of being limber, being able to be nimble and maneuver. And perhaps from that, an interest in circus and some of Tal's background. You don't have to take this, I could let you think about it or however, but there is, or at the very least, the storytelling aspects of the circus, perhaps some of that conversation that may have come up. If you would like, know that that's something that could have come up in those times.
Oh.
You don't have to.
No, I'm thinking. Hold on.
I can also come back to you if you want to take longer.
Does Tal being who they are, do they know anything or believe in fortune telling?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I assume you're asking me.
Yeah. No is a fine answer.
I do think that I think that they always believed that there was like a spark of truth to it, and now with everything that's gone on, they're like, oh, that's for real shit. That's real stuff. That's for absolutely real.
I can see into the future.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna roll then, because I like to do that. I think it should be fortune telling or theater lore, because I think theater lore is very like circus.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
The ability to learn where. Listen, I could give y'all theater lore. Let's be real. That's what I studied in school.
1-2 fortune telling, and that means Art kind of went on their own. Having heard the word like fate thrown around a lot, kind of went on their own and studied up and spoke to people in the Uzanjati and stuff. And then 3 for theater. Don't make fun of the way I say theater.
No, I love it.
Masterpiece.
He's Southern,
theater.
all right.
I love
theater.
the theater.
Theater.
Well,
Theater.
it also depends on what you're talking about. Because if it's a movie theater, it's an ER. If it's a play theater, if it's a stage show, it's an RE. I'm so glad that you rolled a 1. I'm so glad that this happens.
This
Listen,
is so
it's
awesome.
fate,
I'm
get it?
straight up.
It's
bored.
fate.
It's
fucking
literally
fate.
I'll add some
Let's
fortune
go.
telling lore.
fucking awesome. Can't write this shit, man. For real.
Okay.
Shit, our writers are paid too little.
Please, Ko-fi.com. I can't even for this shit.
Tell.
Yes. Hello.
You are
I am.
level 1 in this branch, which means your DC is actually 15.
Great, that's exactly what I rolled. Again.
Amazing. Exactly. Exactly what was needed in the occultism, as perhaps as you gain another level in the Cascade Bearers, you have been perhaps fighting to stay on top and learning these skills from the perspective of Arcana, from the perspective of the individuals that are teaching it to you. What is Arc when he tries to help you here, there, whatever, it's Arcana. Teacher Ott sometimes lends to the Arcana. Honestly, the default of the academic world is to teach these lessons in the Arcana skill set. But as you learn a little bit about yourself and you get comfortable with your own powers, perhaps after a little bit of action at the Tree Stump Library, turn to the Sprouthouse now, you get a little bit more comfortable with how you do magic. And so leaning into the occult, you recognize, well, perhaps I've been going about this the wrong way. Perhaps I need to go about this the way I'm familiar. And you're starting to take that perspective into your teachings. Just a little bit. You're starting to get an understanding of how it works for you. At level 2, you get the benefit, Steeped in History, +1. What does that mean? At second level in a branch, you learn about the history of that branch and the Magaambya in general. So you're going to gain a +1 circumstance bonus to recall knowledge about the Magaambya, the tenets of history in your branch in specific, so you get +1 in anything Cascade Bearers, and +1 to recall knowledge checks about the members of your branch, which is interesting.
All members or just leading members?
I
This is
believe the
important.
words are members of your branch.
I love this for me.
Okay. Arafe.
Yes,
How's
yes.
your voice? Can you hear me all right?
I can. Just for listeners, I'm coming in and out because my hotel has really shitty Wi-Fi. So
You sound great on our end, so it's
yeah, just
wonderful.
every once in a while, you guys go into tinny spurts, and I just have to come out of the call and go back in. So there may be some
Okay.
whats. So I apologize to listeners if you keep hearing me say what.
Just throw your
What?
hand up and I will repeat it. No worries.
Perfect.
Would you like to roll your study check?
I got a 26.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
Plus 8 to my intimidation. Arafe, she's soft, but she mean, I guess.
I mean, we've seen this.
One of those people who smiles and you're just like, oh god, she might
She
kill
might
me.
kill me. Yeah.
Arafe, your shadow is showing. So I do believe, because you had level 0 in the Tempest, Tempest on Mages.
Tempest on Mage is my secondary.
You gain 2 in that branch. You are like maxing it out. You're 2 and 2.
Arafe, the most
is
studious.
really good at school, y'all.
Hey, I made a spell last week, okay?
Okay.
So
This is what we
being
get for
the-
starting sparring club, huh?
in the attending of your periphery classes, because Airfay did not attend sparring club with all of you. Airfay, you take some of the interesting classes that drill in different types of maneuvers in a little bit of warfare and a little bit of general defense, and that's part of what drew you. That's part of the conversation that you had when, as I wait patiently. It's part of the conversations that you had when talking to some of the teachers there. You're like, I want to know how to better defend. And you noted in those classes, Essie was definitely a leader of that branch, so to speak, of the students, of course. Definitely, someone to go to for questions. You are going to gain the warfare lore.
Hey.
And as you are level 2, you get the steeped in history, as I explained, to tell, which is going to be +1 Magaambya, +1 circumstance bonus to recall about Magaambya, tenets of history of your branch, and members of your branch.
So since I'm +2 in 2 of them, do they stack?
That's a great question, because it is
No.
It's a circumstance bonus, so no, circumstance bonuses do not stack.
Cool.
But it
We
splits
learned that
into
last
both-
episode, actually.
Both branches.
Yay!
Yes. Alrighty. Hideaki.
Boy, I'm so glad I'm going last in the best way, because
All right.
the pressure is so on. It's awesome. I'm so stoked. Let's go.
Hideaki.
I'm also panicked if you get a natural 20 about what this means for Hideaki. And I also am very
It's
excited.
probably not
and
good
scared.
for him, I feel like.
Yeah, in a different way, in an interesting way.
Yeah.
All these things, all this new experience, I was right the whole time. Didn't need any of that.
It's gonna switch, y'all. Ark is going to learn how to go from oh, I'm maybe not perfect, and Hideaki's I am perfect. It's gonna
I
be
have to be perfect.
I've been perfect all along.
Well, no, he went from I had to be perfect to I don't have to be perfect to we're about to
Maybe
find
I
out.
already am. All right.
Now
that
I'm nervous. I
roll.
wasn't, and now I am.
No
Yeah,
pressure.
the stakes are really high. Here, wait,
The stake is so rare.
As
So,
this
ladies
rolls,
and gentlemen, let's go.
I
You
want to
ready?
just take a quick second
Oh.
to acknowledge the fact that this group makes even rolling study checks nerve-wracking.
This is just
and interesting
school.
and this is side
I've been thinking about it for
mechanics.
2 weeks. I really
I
have.
love you all so much for
Love you
making
so
this as
much.
exciting as it is.
This
All
could
right,
just have been
Hideaki.
a throwaway roll is really what it is. And we're just all this is going to affect us so much.
Yeah.
All right, Hideaki, let's go. What you
We
got?
have to
So-
Get it,
mostly damage
boo-boo.
with all things.
So
First of all, intimidation
Yeah.
or performance?
intimidation or intimidation. Actually, he's trained in both, so it's a +7 in both.
But for
But
story.
I think given for story, definitely intimidation. So I rolled a 17.
Okay. All right. Now you had 0 in this, which made your DC 14.
Correct.
It is a success. You gain +1 in the branch, obviously, not the steep lore, and you gain an additional lore. So similarly, you are going to gain warfare lore. You've taken
Love
some
that.
of these classes as well. You've taken some of the Cascade Bear, and as you sort of find yourself to a certain point where you're more helping others in the Cascade Bears than you are necessarily learning new material as time progresses, and especially after the Tree Stump Library where you went in to the fray. And then interestingly in Sparring Club where you're being taught about, you put yourself into the fray so much, your dragon is far more armored than you, and you share the pain, so perhaps you can be a little bit more tactical about it. Taking that curiosity into your classes of the Cascade Bears has brought you some interesting tactical knowledge and physical battle prowess where you gain the warfare lore. Interesting.
You
All
can't
right.
fucking write this shit. I can't fucking handle it.
I love it.
I
why? But
I
tell me
rolled
why.
and I was like, I wanted to hero point it when I saw it because it's an actual 10 for 17 or 7 for 17, right? And I was like, but if he's trying to learn how to take the foot off the gas.
In a way, it could be because it's your secondary class and because your whole focus has been on Cascade Bearers. It's almost by proxy that you haven't pushed hard in the classes for Tempest Sun Mages, and then this is sort of a normal pacing almost.
Which is ironic because that's a different road, and yet, even though to a lesser result-ish, Ark and Hiyaki came to a similar conclusion.
It's true. I like this.
I can't write this friends. Fucking shit. Let's go.
And now we zoom back in to the day-to-day of your life at the Magaambya. Tell me, how is the as I try to move my thing over, how is the Sprouthouse coming along?
We could definitely have hand-waved it, but Tal would have gone to the market at some point. And one day, would have gone one day, and when everyone else came back, the house looks different.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
I think I might have asked Mariama to come with me, because she's the only one who knows how important this is.
Absolutely would have. And it would have been...
And I didn't want to tell anyone else, because it's going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay. So you purposefully try to make this a surprise. So perhaps one of the days that you everybody's in class.
Yes.
And you grab Mariama. And Mariama, as you find out like halfway through Natambu, cut class to be here. Like she had also class. And she was just like, no, we're going. This was what we're doing. Because she agreed without hesitation.
Excellent.
And so you went into Natambu, and as we kind of set the scene last time, Natambu is a city broken up by rivers and canals. It is bridges and tall buildings and terraces, and it's really cool looking. And do you go do anything in particular? You're just kind of going general shopping, getting a whole bunch of stuff, doing back and forth trips, getting them delivered. There's plenty. Tal wants to keep it as absolutely secret as possible. So, it would probably be, if it's not an obnoxious trip, if they couldn't, well, okay, here's the question. Could they have borrowed like a wagon or something from the school? Zokan would have absolutely given you a cost, and he would have said it's like 1 silver or something like that to take the wagon. However, if you then bring the wagon back, he will pay you 1 silver for it.
Heck yes.
He doesn't let you borrow it. He makes it very particular.
Perfect. Yeah, I accept. I accept. Okay, cool. Because then we'd be able to do the whole thing. But I also want to do like it doesn't have to take a long time, but before this day of traveling and tripping, Tal would have gone to each person at just at random times and asked them what their favorite part of home was.
We're gonna go one by one on this. So let's start with Arafe.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, oh god, what is it? Okay, what we're going. All right.
It's just the two of us. The two of us are sitting in the stump house, the sprout house. Stump house. It's a stump. The sprout house. We're like reading, and all of a sudden you just hear Tal just out of nowhere just ask, Arafe, what was your favorite part about home?
Oh, well, around my village was a lot of like pine trees that we made incense from, and that smell just really reminds me of home. I kind of wish I would have brought some with me.
Tal just nods and doesn't say anything, and just you can hear them writing something down.
You hear just the scribbling of a quill on paper.
She'll go, what about you, Tal? What about your home do you remember most or miss the most?
I miss my brother. I miss my brother. I miss all
Tal.
of the
Family is really important.
the laughter.
The people
The food.
we're connected to most.
It's okay. It's okay. We heard it. The people we're connected to most.
Yes.
Just unexpected comments. That's all.
Yeah. It's just
Just
You're good.
pauses for effect.
yeah. But then also
Tal.
Tal said laughter and food.
You were so focused on others that this question does take you aback for a second.
Oh, 100%. 1,000,000,000%.
Because in this moment, as you answer these questions, which you do, you answer as you have, thoughtfully, but there's an odd feeling that you can't quite place that begins to kind of like just in your chest, just kind of an odd feeling. You can't place it just yet. Another time, unless you have more to this conversation.
No, I'm just concerned.
Another time,
Excellent.
you find yourself with Hideaki.
Oh, when would this have been?
Probably over meal, over like a lunch or something between classes. A mouth half full of food. Would say, Hideaki, what do you like most about home?
I think, yeah, 100%. He's like probably slurping like a soup or something, and he's just kind of like, the smells. It's very different here. It smells very different, very earthy. It's kind of why I like our secret sort of new area. It's kind of serendipitous that it's a tree. Actually, a lot of the buildings were actually not on the ground. They were tied in the air all around. Several different trees.
That sounds.
What's
lovely.
different? Very like, just felt this, I don't know, just felt right. Well, I haven't thought about that in a while. Thanks for asking.
One of the things that you specifically recall Hideaki, or the one of the striking differences is that when you're around Natambu, and even when in the Magaambya, there's always the background sound of water, whether it's a splash somewhere or people splashing, boats parting the water, fish jumping, or just waves crashing or gently lapping. There's always a sound of water. And when you are in the Sprouthouse, being so tucked away in bush and underbrush and in buildings and a large tree stump, it's one of the few places that you actually more hear the sounds of leaves, like when the wind blows and things like that, which absolutely, as you said, strikes you more from home than you didn't. It's like one of those things where you don't realize you're missing until you hear it a little bit more often, and you're like, oh, when the wind blows, I hear trees and not the water for once.
actually makes me think. You really got to tell me what a circus smells like.
Well, I can only tell you what my circus smelled like, and a lot of the times it was very sweaty. A lot
it smells like sparring club?
Well, no. Well, you travel a lot, so you have to, there's some times where it just is a lot of travel smells. But I guess
cool.
a little bit. Kind of like sparring club a little bit, but like a lot more because there's a lot more people. Yeah.
Lots of hard work happening.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're also, the smell of canvas and sort of the mustiness of people often staying in sort of enclosed like wagon spaces, animals,
so many
close
animals.
Proximity.
Yeah.
And thinking of the sounds, if Hideaki mentions any of it, you think of how you miss the sound of like rope, kind of like almost like the twang of when it gets like let go, or the squeak of it as it gets tied tight, the smell of chalk and such for the acrobats use, and sort of those pieces of it as well. And again, as you talk about this, that feeling that maybe you had just kind of like, it's been a little bit since you talked to Arafe, that feeling in your chest, it's back. And it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, and you're not quite sure. Like, you're having a great conversation. It's a nice conversation, but it's just a little uncomfortable.
I'm a little uncomfortable.
That's sus.
More concerned or like?
And yet another time and place. You find
Sparring club.
5 a.m. Let's go.
Arafe is sleeping in her bed while you are all out doing that.
I think it would be. I feel like at least when it comes to sparring club, Tal has at least picked up Ark's routine visually. Because correct me if I'm wrong, it's pretty much the exact same routine. Your personal routine is the same.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
So Tal would wait until you were done with that before they ask. Ark, you've not talked a lot about where you come from. What were some of your favorite things from where you're from?
See him like look up in the air for a second, like he's thinking. Not much. 'Twas quieter than this place, and he like nods. I could write everywhere. The floor, the walls.
I mean, you could technically write anywhere here, but I guess people would get mad at you.
Flashback to Ark writing on the wall once and getting yelled at. That's it, really. He just sits there and like nods awkwardly and does not ask you about your home.
That is okay.
All right.
Tal now has plans. I have plans. Tal has plans. We have plans. There's plans. All right, so
Both of you together? Are you
both
gonna
of us
ask each
together.
other?
Yeah, we got this. All right. So all of that to set up that it takes most of the afternoon to collect all of the things, various bolts of fabric and sundries and all sorts of stuff. So I will say the entire Sprouthouse is not going to be different. However, there are 4 rooms at least that will look different.
Ooh, that's a lovely tease. I love this.
So, you go with Mariama to various stores here or there, focusing on your plans. These mysterious plans.
Yes.
And the wagon starts piling up. Because on top of bolts of cloth and some of the things that you're using to decorate, Mariama, in her efficiency, is, makes certain suggestions like, well, if you get a bunch of these, like, some bean bags, it's not hard to, they don't take up a lot of space and they're easy to transport, and then some stools, like some soft, like, stools and different things, and just
definitely like that extra stuff to make it feel quote-unquote homier and more comfortable. I 100% rely on, like, Mariama. Because to me, it would be basically like everybody gets like hammocks. And then,
and when
cool,
she hears about
like,
hammocks, she's just like,
don't worry.
Great.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm getting one for myself and also Hideaki. So that's
perfect.
I heard lives in trees and thinks trees move.
And piling on, and so this wagon is getting to be like nice and starting to get stacked and things like that.
Excellent,
and as you go to basically be done, and Mariama realizes, and she's like, wait, what are we getting for you? What room are we decorating for you?
I was thinking about a couple of things.
Well, and I point to where there's two hammocks.
I got a hammock for myself. I used to sleep in one, in the wagon when I was back in the circus. But I also wanted to build a set of like, I wanted to build like a balance bar. Because I haven't had one of those for a long time.
That's super awesome. And you could put it like in the middle there, kind of over the books. It won't get in the way, and you could kind of like do something that way. Like she started kind of going into a plan. And as you sort of almost
basically what I want to do is turn like the ceiling of the main room into like a fitness a parkour gym.
Jungle gym.
It's
Parkour.
essentially what I want to do with that main room, or at least the ceiling. So like it's out of the way, so you don't have to worry about it.
I love this.
Are you putting in a humanoid-sized cat run into our into the Sprouthouse?
You're not wrong. So
no, it's for me. I don't know what you're talking about. Nim can go wherever the fuck they want.
That's true. I have another plane. Bye.
Yeah.
This, that, or the other thing, and she is, you look back over the cart, kind of looking at like, hey, what have you gotten? What else do you need? And you're kind of wrapping up, and you look at this massive amount of stuff that takes up an entire wagon. And plus, again, thinking back to like, oh, when you were in the circus, and then you look at the cart. And you realize that is more things than you have ever really owned / had in one go. And some of these things are not practical. Some of these things are not transportable. You're planning on building these things into the walls of the Sprouthouse. They're not collapsible. They're not movable. You're talking about permanent things to alter a space that's yours. And you realize you've never in your entire life had that. And you have been operating and going on these things for everybody else, making a space like home for them. And in doing so, making it the exact opposite of anything you've ever had at home. Something permanent and not movable. And materialistic to an extent, with things and goods and decorations. And that feeling comes back, and it starts spreading, and it starts kind of overwhelming you as you realize that you haven't thought about having to move or having to pack up your things and having to go visit new places in so long. You haven't even thought about that you remember when you first came here and you could barely sleep in your bed because you were in a room with 4 walls that didn't move and shift with the wind, and how you haven't thought about that. How you go to bed every night in your own bed. And how that shift in perspective comes into sharp contrast. And homesickness overwhelms you to an extent. In a way that you haven't thought of in a long time. Because you do miss your brother, and your grandmother, and your mother, and your father. Heck, even, you know...
Technically also my uncle. A little bit.
Everybody.
I miss him.
You
He's
miss
an asshole,
the
but I do
sense
miss
of
him.
normal that you had. The odd dichotomy of it's so normal that everything is different all the time. Because you're always moving and you're always traveling. And it just overtakes you. And it spreads and it gets to this point of maybe choking you up a little bit. Which Mariama suddenly stops talking and looks at you.
Oh yeah, Tal is absolutely looking at this cart and was just like quiet for a really long time. And is absent-mindedly twisting in their fingers the bracelet that their grandmother sent them around their wrist. And like they don't realize that they have tears welling up until they start to like just kind of like topple over and fall down their face.
And Mariama immediately, she's like, what's wrong? And she just kind of comes and like scoops you like on either side of your, like, just gently like holding you, knowing that like it's okay. Like if you don't, it's okay. You can. Did I say something wrong? Do you not want the?
No. I just miss home.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing, right? We're making a homey space.
No, it's not the same. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. It just was remembering a lot of things.
You hear a little kind of like chirp / like as Nim kind of pops out from your hood, curls up on your
Scritches.
kind of tilts his head at you, looks questioning.
I'll be okay. And I'll just like pat its head.
Nim kind of like takes the pet for a second, runs down your arm and jumps up onto the cart, kind of like hops over and stands up on there on his hind legs, looks at you. 2, 3 tails. Is it 2 tails or 3? I forget. 2. 2 tails kind of like alternating in their little motions as it looks over again, tilting its head, questioning.
Nims, do you want something?
Kind of shakes his head. Its head. You're not quite sure in what they're trying to say. There's a confusion.
Yeah.
There's almost like a questioning of like...
They're confused, I'm confused, we're all confused.
Well, you can tell that they're trying to communicate something, so it's kind of like... They sensed you were sad. And they came out and looked over at you with confusion. And when it didn't seem to get the answer it wanted, it hopped over to the cart and almost seems to like ask again. In a way of like, is it this?
Oh. Oh, no. No, not really, no. No.
Which I think this is the first time Miriama's just seen me just talking conversationally to my familiar.
She doesn't blink. She doesn't
Great.
blink.
I love this. No, I'll walk over to Nim and I'll just like hold out my arm.
Nim kind of tentatively, like for a second, like puts one paw out and then climbs back up. Can you make a perception check for me?
What the fuck is perception?
How the fuck do I do that?
Coming soon.
18.
Okay. You look. New software available. Thank you. Nim downloads new software.
Heck yeah.
You catch like an after shadow of Nim going in the other direction for a second before he steps on your like puts a paw on your palm and climbs back up. And the other direction that this like instant shadow went was like more into the cart. Goes back up and kind of curls back up in your head.
I'll kind of look at it a little bit and then try to like guess roughly in the cart where Nim might have been heading and just kind of like peek and like look, carefully like looking past some of the stuff there just to see like Nim's never been strange before.
No, never.
Never.
Where's perception again?
No, okay, so you go to do that, and Miriama kind of like just stands there to the side and be like, are you? She gets very confused at this point because you were just like brimming over with emotion, kind of giving you a second to talk to your familiar before you kind of almost get distracted and start looking through the cart.
Yeah.
And she's kind of standing there like, are you okay? Did we forget something? Like, not quite sure how to help or what to do in this scenario.
Tal doesn't have a response until that there's something to respond with.
Got it. So you kind of start looking through the cart and like you just see the things that you bought.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing stands out to you. And you've seen the type of shadow movement before, where it's potential, where it's kind of like perhaps a different yeah.
branch. Yeah.
But it seems that that's not what occurred, and therefore not quite certain.
Yeah.
If there's anything for you to find.
Cool. Tal's still figuring out how this works.
Yep. And that's just kind of like you're left with an odd feeling of all of this, and you're not quite sure how you're processing it perhaps just yet, but
100%. Tal is a little quiet on the way back.
Yeah. Yep. But
not in an avoidance
Mariama,
way, but like in a like I do have my hands.
Yeah.
I don't know who I am.
And Miriama takes up the silence with random chatter here, there, or the other, and then slowly, as it's kind of gives you a little bit of time, goes back to like bringing your attention to like, what if we do this for this one room, and tries to bring back this kind of excitement of like, oh, but this is what you were going to do for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of knows to avoid talking about like the things that you're doing for you, and instead is just talking about like, oh, you wanted this for Arc, right? And and like that's it. And brings you guys back. All right. Now I will ask you, Maria, if you have a full description of the things that you'd like for people,
Yes.
or if you wanted. Wait.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
All right.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Take it away.
So, Tal spends the entire evening, the entire night, does not sleep a whole lot and doesn't need to because they're very excited. Maybe they napped a little bit in the morning, but I imagine that they knew the next day everybody was off of classes. And made sure to leave everybody a note, an identical note that said, your presence is requested at the Sprouthouse, date morning time. And then it says in small writing underneath, there will be snacks and a surprise.
Is it on the door?
It's just under your doors.
All right. You each see that. Does anybody not go?
Hell no.
Take that note, though.
I'm gonna sleep in.
Arafe's gonna take that note though and put it next to the one that she has attached to her door already from her guy back home.
Yes.
Dude.
From my
that
dude.
dude.
From Infar. He doesn't get a name anymore. No.
You
That
lost it
dude.
in the divorce.
I love that.
But yeah, so she's gonna put that on the door right next to the letter from Infar, just because, just as that reminder of they can be a distraction, kind of screw you situation.
It's me. I'm the distraction.
Look at me, I'm distracting. Ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
All right. What do they get received with?
Excellent. So in front of the Sprouthouse is there's a sign on the door that says, when you arrive, please knock 3 times. Do not enter. I mean it.
I think the first thought that goes through Hideaki's brain is, oh, thank God I'm not the only one that does this.
So, like, slowly, like, I guess, does everybody get there at the same time? Around? We'll say for you.
I imagine, like, it's probably, like, especially to see each other every day, there's probably eventually, I would imagine, yeah. I'm overthinking it. Yeah, sure.
No, you're fine.
Excellent. As soon as there's a knock, Tal, like, peeks the door open just, like, enough that you can see their face. And already you can smell there's a difference. But they like look and they see that all 3 of you are there, and they say, okay, so it's gonna look a little different, and they're gonna open the door, and you can see that they've put up just a very makeshift like curtain in front of the doorway.
Y'all also see,
like,
by the way, when you
the
get
rest
there,
of the rest
like,
of the everything.
The wagon that you borrowed, Tal, is like still like kind of like parked like in the brush, like by the
just
house.
like on the side.
That's your first sign.
Yeah. But in front of this curtain, there's like there is like a tiny side table that has like half-eaten breakfast because Tal's hungry, but they don't they don't mention that. They stand there in front of this curtain and they say, okay, I wanted to make this space a little bit more our space, and if you don't like any of it, we can change it. It's just first, if you want to add things, take things out, it's totally fine. But and then like they'll because they basically just like moved a bookcase over and put like a blanket over top of it to act as like a backdrop. They will just kind of like pull the what they did was it's 2 bookcases, so it's like an archway essentially.
Yes,
so they pull down the curtain, and it opens into the main room. The main room doesn't look too much different, except for basically the scaffolding now. That it is all like monkey bars and like hanging rings and things that like logistically I could never afford, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's fantasy. But like little like perches that you can like climb up to, like handholds that are on one part of the wall between a couple of the bookshelves, so you can get up to it like a ladder and all that sort of stuff. Some like hanging ropes on the sides away from everyone, the space and everything. And you can see on the back, because there's how many rooms in this? There were like...
would you like me to bring you to the map?
Yes, please! I would love that so incredibly much.
I have to
with all the
rename
bugs
this
still,
from
remember?
Yeah,
Remember all the
Here,
bugs?
let me clear this out now.
Oh god, it is all the bugs are still there, yes.
Sweet. Amazing.
Okay. So, they would have closed 4 of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And on the front of each of those 4 doors, so I think what they would have done is they would have taken the bottom left, the bottom right, and then the 2 on the sides. Those 4.
Okay.
The doors are closed.
So
the other
one-
ones, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. The other 3 of them, I mean, they look pretty much the same.
Cleared out probably over time from multiple other times, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But each of those doors has a little sign that has your name on it. And the signs are painted in a variety of colors. They're all different colors. None of the signs are the same. They're all different colors.
All right, let's go door by door. So who, as y'all see this, first of all, give y'all a second. As y'all see this, you can tell there's been a lot of effort put in. So we'll start with Hideaki.
Yeah, Tal just kind of stands in the middle and says, who wants to go first?
I'm excited to go first if no one else wants to.
Okay. I'll go over
Behind
to
door number 1.
It's this one. It's the one in the back
Okay.
right. Because that's the
Okay.
one that is the most wooded and shaded. So you open the door, and your sign, by the way, is colored in like a deep red and a very dark green with little bits of gold kind of speckled around it. And inside is some more dark green drapery, just kind of like hanging off of the ceiling, kind of like swooping a little bit. Some potted plants have been placed in various corners. There's this
because of budgeting reasons. Some of these potted plants are
might not be
definitely
real.
like some like cuttings from outside that have been
Yeah.
just placed. Like hope
correct.
they're
Yes.
hopeful.
Yeah, there are like
Hopeful.
yeah, there are some branches that they may or may not have asked someone to, I don't know if the magic exists or if it's like science or whatever, to try to preserve it as much as physically possible, because they have hung some branches off of the ceiling as well underneath these blankets. And there's a hammock on like 1/3 of it. There's a bookshelf that's kind of devoid of, it has so much space to put things in. I
want artist renditions of each of these rooms moving forward, by the way. I just want to clarify that.
and a small toy that they purposely purchased. It was like one of those, like, oh, you're going through the aisle and you see it and you're like, this is actually literally perfect.
Yeah,
it's
an
a small
end cap.
it's a small toy on like wheels, but it's a very, very crude and soft wooden dragon just on 4 wheels, like a little car. It's just sitting on top of this empty bookshelf.
Oh my gosh.
Is it like those like 1940s like pull the wooden ducks thing?
Yeah, exactly correct. Exactly. It's just a little dragon.
Amazing.
I think he just sound's supposed to come out. That's how science works. And I think he just he
The
just
thing that breaks the silence is Overnoza going. Is that
there's also
supposed
some
to be
lamps.
Me?
There's also like lamps that kind of have a what is it called? They're fully covered, but they have kind of a like a mushroom top almost, like a scalloped mushroom top with little holes in the top, so it has this effect of like this kind of almost scattering effect of the light, as if light was coming through the treetops and scattering around.
Kaleidoscope lamps. I don't know if that's what they're called, but
Yeah,
that's what they remind me of.
Exactly.
Wow, Tao. I'm thank you.
You're welcome.
I haven't tried a hammock since I was like since 10 years ago. Thank goodness I've been going to sparring club.
Well, there's if you need it, they'll point into the corner and there's a small stool there. If you need help.
Can I just give credit though to Duval, because that's the truest statement that ever says. Like, they are difficult to get in and out of. I'm just gonna say.
They're very challenging.
They really are.
They're very
How did
challenging.
we ever survive getting into them as children? I don't understand.
I don't know. We were hardy beings.
We were hard
Don't
to
have
beat.
a high acrobatic score. Anyways, I go.
Yeah, I definitely don't anymore. Wow, you really, I spent a lot of time thinking about what home looks like now, and I don't think I have to do that anymore.
Good.
And I like what Overnoza kind of like feels, Syrup, is a lot of the anxiety and like, this is all the things I need to do. These are the things I need to talk to, and it just
Quiets a little.
I'm gonna make myself cry.
You have a base of operations here. You have a
This is your null
spot of
zone.
serenity. Mm-hmm.
this is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me, and I'm really excited because I think with the collection of all this, it's probably going to be the nicest thing that has ever been experienced and ever.
You hear Overnoza in your head say, "Can take one of those bookshelves and put them in here for a personal collection."
Yeah, I know. I know.
But not in a bad way. Like in a.
Yeah. Right.
He's like
yeah.
suggesting,
like,
you put that perfectly
Here's how
right
we can
here.
personalize it for me.
Yeah.
But like, what about my space, Rumi?
Where's my
Overnoza
bed?
does look around, and you see him kind of like go off. Is he manifested?
Not currently, no.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
But given that both that like second like process, he'll go ahead and manifest him. And
So I wanted to point to a section of the room, like kind of by the window that just is, it looks a little bit empty. I didn't know what to get for Overnoza, so I thought I would leave space for you to figure that out together.
Oh, that's really sweet of you. That's awesome. Great. What's
Hideaki,
really cool?
You also realize, like, you have no clue also what Overnoza would want in this. It's an interesting thought. It doesn't bother you. It's just a realization of, like...
It's an interesting, like, part 2 to, like, their, like, opening up conversation. You know what's really kind of cool? Is, it kind of all together with like when I like take in all the smells, it reminds me of my parents hugging me.
Oh.
Can I like hug you like a lot, like right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is definitely lifted.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to ask for if you for consent for uppies. So perfect.
Yeah.
I think you completely by accident. Thank God for Spartan Club. Wow.
Perfect.
Oh man, there's still 3 more to see. 2 more. Yeah, because you had to do one for you, right? So like, and then like he trails off and someone interrupt him, please.
And you all, I mean, we'll say that you all kind of let this go one by one. So like, you all are standing like behind them, looking into this room, seeing a little bit of what is in Hideaki's lair.
Lair.
Next up.
Ark will go.
Perfect.
Okay.
So they head straight to the left to what was once that little study nook. So directly opposite. And you have a sign on your door as well. And it is a not like a neon orange, but a very vibrant orange. And it's it's cross-cut with deep like cerulean blue lines. And there's two parallel lines that are jet black.
Nice.
And Ark, you, as we've discussed, kind of in the artistic sense, and in some of the other things that you may be pursuing, like you've taken note of artistic skill.
Yep. Yeah, he kind of stands at the door and looks at the sign and looks back a moment and says, "This is very nice."
Thank you. I tried to think of all of the different colors and shapes that made me think of all of you.
He nods a little. Yeah, I think that's right.
And I will open the door. Dun, 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 dun. So this room, if you thought Hideaki's room was covered in fabric, this room is basically almost all of the walls are covered in fabric. It is instantly there is a notable difference in volume as soon as you step into this room. The cloth that is hanging on the walls, most of them, and also kind of having that drapery over the ceiling, a lot of it is a very soft, warm, kind of like a soft mustard yellow, not like true mustard, kind of like a little bit paler, but laid over in like a couple of panels, all joining in the center, almost looking like the inside of a tent. Is this brilliant, there's 3 different colors of brilliantly designed silk. There's one that is, again, that like kind of deep orange color. There's one that is a deep cerulean blue, and then there's one that is black that has kind of like silver, the designs in it are silver. And the 3 of them just kind of like meet in a point in the center. One of the walls, though, is completely blank and has in fact been painted white, like stark white. And if it was, if there was any like holes or anything, huh?
You got like the chalkboard paint.
No, I just made it.
Paint.
I just made it a solid color. But from that wall onto the floor, about like 5 feet, not even 5 feet, like 3 feet out from the floor, it is all a continuous color. There's no bed in here. The same chair that was in here is in here. It's been cleaned. There's also an empty bookshelf in here, as well as a beanbag chair. Every room has a beanbag chair. I will specify. Every single room has one. That was Miriama's choice. And the window still, you can still access the window. Is there a window in this room?
No.
There's not a window in this room. Perfect.
Very
Great. Never mind then.
happily.
And they're in the center point where all these fabrics meet. There is a light here as well, and it kind of looks like one of those like small. It's like a Moroccan style light, and I only know that because I played Animal Crossing. But it's kind of like almost like a flat,
like a bulb shape.
Yeah, kind of like a bulb. It's again in a cage. That has all of those holes in it, but it's like it gives a very like warm, minimal light to it. And Tal just kind of like stands there. Ta-da!
Ark looks at it for a long, like, 15 seconds.
There's also a lot of open space on the ground. Like, there's not a lot of... There's, like, barely anything in here.
Yep. And Waffles will preface this with... I don't know if Tal would know this or not, but Maria should. Ark is absolutely... I won't say in love with it. He's definitely processing. Mm-hmm. But this next reaction isn't as, like, ridiculous as he makes it seem. But he just kind of, like, looks back at you, nods for a second, and says, "Thank you." And then he's going to go in the room and, like, lay down in the middle of the floor and close his eyes.
Yay. That makes me so happy. I am delighted.
Amazing.
And Tal has just literally been smiling since you all walked into this space. Has not stopped. But we'll simply turn around and like a giant smile on face towards the two of you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 3.
Okay. So, which one was it? But it's going to. It's the one on the right. This one. And you come up to your sign, and the sign is silver. And there is not perfectly done, but perfectly imperfect almost. This like teal filigree that is around the outside of it. And in and amongst that teal filigree, there are little dots of this bright yellow, like this like sunshine yellow in there. And Tal is like really excited about this room. As soon as the room opens, this is where the smell has been coming from. Also, I should preface, in the middle room, the bottom room, there's the smell of food from that room specifically. Tal didn't mention it. The door's been open, but like there's very much a smell of food coming from that room. But in this room, it's again, there's fabric. There's always fabric. There's going to be fabric everywhere. But instead of hanging it from the ceiling, instead, it's almost like it's been just affixed to the walls. It's still hanging, but it's kind of like it's literally just like hanging curtains. And there is Tal has like parted them and gathered them essentially, so it kind of looks like there's like on one of the walls, it looks like you're looking into whatever. There's no like pictures or anything behind there. However, in between one of the gathered, like the opening, there's a bookshelf that is empty and devoid of anything. Between the second one, there's a beanbag chair situation, of course. Excuse me. There is a small corner space that has maybe not as comfortable looking as the chair from the other room, but it looks like it was a chair that perhaps did belong to someone else, and Tal was like, "Hey, can I have your chair if you don't want it?" Like, off the side of the road kind of situation.
Amazing.
Oh, garage sale.
Exactly. Exactly. But a very comfortable looking chair, and next to it is a small side table, and there is a beautiful small cylindrical dish that's kind of in the shape of a flower, that you can see is currently burning a stick of incense, and next to it in a small vase is a bunch of other sticks of incense. The wall behind this particular, where this like little seating area is painted. And it is painted as a mostly pine forest, because not all pine forests just have pine. But for the majority of it, it is just a hand-painted wall of trees and like dark greens, and there's like a little bit of mist and everything. And you can now see it. You can now see that Tal tried really hard to get the paint off of their fur and did not succeed. And you can now tell why.
Arafe is going to walk up to that, and she's just going to put her, like, she's going to test it first to make sure it's not still wet so she doesn't smear it.
You see the patches that are still a little bit wet, but
okay.
you find there's a dry part for sure. That's where it started.
Yeah. But the part by the chair is definitely mostly dry.
Okay, but she's just gonna kind of touch it, and you see like she's actually tearing up just a little bit. She goes, "Tal, this was so wonderful. You didn't have to do this."
I know.
Thank you. This is so incredibly thoughtful.
Oh, and your lights. Oh my god, your lights. Hang on, wait. So you thought there was nothing hanging off the ceiling. You were wrong. There is from each corner into the center, there's 4 ropes. And on those ropes, they're very small little lanterns. But there's like 2 per rope. So you've got what would that be? 8 different like small lights just kind of hanging there.
Seriously, anyway. I want this room. I want to be there. I want to go to there. House now. I know. I'm going to go back. My husband's going to be like, "What the hell did you do to your office?" Tal did it. It's gorgeous and I love it.
We'll tell him I packed you. It's fine.
Thank you, Tal. Thank you.
Of course.
Amazing. All right.
Now let's see your room. What does your room look like?
Okay.
And we'll go over directly across. And Tal's room doesn't have a sign on it yet. But they Can I ask for a check from people? Is that allowed?
Ooh, I love this!
Can I get a perception check from people?
You know it.
Okay.
When you get a party full of gems, you know that's the best part.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Ark will abstain as he is still in his room.
Perfect.
Oh. Maria, I have
Yeah?
a question.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to use a hero point?
You can do whatever the hell you want.
I'm
Yes,
gonna use
you're
it.
always allowed.
I'm definitely going to use it. I rolled literally the same thing. Amazing.
Fate.
Double 5s for a 10. Fate. Indeed.
Fate. Fate.
I apologize. I lost sound for a second. What are we rolling for?
Oh, I asked
Perception.
for a perception
Oh, okay.
roll.
No, I
Me,
got
as
that.
I go to open
Perfect.
my door. Oh, you got a thing from John Downey, Duvon.
I also am using a hero point, and
Oh.
I also did the same thing. So,
Incredible.
Fate.
Still fate.
Great.
What is it? Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff happening. I'm so sorry.
Perception.
It's okay.
Where'd it go?
It's the thing that we never know where it is. So you're good.
No worries. I can tell you your mod if you'd like.
Please,
Yeah, it's
Please.
going to
help.
be
Oh, it's plus 5, so I got 14.
+5. Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Plus
Okay.
5.
So much excitement right now.
Then I think Airfay would notice there's a hesitation as Tal goes to open the door. Not
I
like
will
a
say-
big one, but like you noticed it.
And
They were
and
very
Tal just
excited
said-
for every single one of these other like could barely contain themselves about opening these doors.
I will
So-
also say, Tal, that there's been, like, you've been working your butt off to get all of these runes done, and yours is definitely, like, not 100% complete compared to everybody else's.
Correct. Well, correct-ish. Yes-ish.
Just based off of time. But,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's yeah. Yes. Correct.
So as you're going to
Ish.
open the door and Arafay notices you hesitate a little bit, she's just gonna put her hand on Tal's shoulder and go, would you like to do this another time instead? Or is this something that you'd like to keep to yourself? We don't have to. Share this with us if you don't want.
No, No, I want to show you. I do.
Okay.
And they'll open the door. It's sparse. It's sparse in here. But it's there's a hammock again hanging kind of higher than Hideaki's, like quite a bit. Like Hideaki's was hanging at like a what one would consider a normal height, and Tal's is probably like maybe like 2-3 feet from the ceiling.
Which is amazing because I think he expects literally the exact opposite because he's tall.
Yeah,
So that's amazing.
It's like very, very close. It's close to the ceiling. So actually, no, it's like at max 2 feet because next to it is like a ladder, or not really a ladder. There's like handheld holds like on the side that Tal can use to get up into it. But beyond that, there's a beanbag chair. There is some like somewhat sheer curtains that are hung by the window. And for the most part, the rest of it is plain. There is, however, opposite of wherever the hammock is, there is in perfect replica on the wall, a perfect replica of the sign for the Sojourning Song Circus.
Nice.
That is Jacob's favorite
that's-
thing about the whole thing.
That is what they spent their time on in this room particularly. Like that's why most of it is empty.
And you can tell there's still some, like, pieces that are, like, not fully, like, tacked up to the wall and things like that, but that has been the completed piece. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Yeah. Fucking amazing.
Thanks for letting me
though.
take over the first half of the show.
It was amazing.
Heck yeah.
All the
Amazing.
stars.
No regrets.
So good.
This was amazing.
None. I'm so happy.
So, y'all, please take a second stretch. Thank you all so much for all the raids. Y'all are amazing and really wonderful. And like John Downey said, if at any point you do have to jump off, make sure you sub on our YouTube. So you can catch up on that VOD, but
Or
meanwhile,
podcasts.
for
And follow
now,
here, too.
stretch, get some water, do what you gotta do. We'll be back real soon
Yeah.
with more and
Yeah!
perhaps the start of a little bit of something else. We'll see. All right, y'all. See you in a second.
Bye.
Banana.
But hi.
That's in there.
That's in there. Bananas. Welcome back, y'all. All right.
Welcome back.
So, with the newly established Sprouthouse, redesigned and rebranded even, you find yourselves back in the day-to-day of classes.
Boo.
One of the
More
days
house
that
decoration.
you are walking through campus, you see Teacher Ulawa, Karide Ulawa, walking through by one of the walking out of the Heron archives as you are headed to class ARC. And upon seeing you, and she knows you from your times in her classes, she kind of goes, "Oh, ARC,
Yes.
bring your group of initiates to my office when you have time. Soon." And walks away.
He's like nodding as she's talking, and then he will immediately go to round everyone up where he assumes they are, like in different classes or in their room or whatever.
Okay. And after a little bit of searching around. Go
I was just gonna say, like, explaining to them, be like, teacher wants us, I don't know why, in her office.
Gathering up, you head over to the Heron archives, actually, where she is, along with the teacher op. Kind of grabbing everybody and heading back, you find your way to her office. It's not one that many of you have ever really been in, because she just does her classes sometimes even, because sometimes she doesn't show up. But it's not, unless you're one of her favorites, where helping her on some of the projects or something. You've probably never been here before.
That's me. That's me. I'm a favorite.
So as you get called to her office, you enter. This is a dramatically different room than Teacher Ott's room. Office, rather. Heavy curtains cover the windows in Teacher Lawa's large office, with several oil lamps emitting a low light. There is a dizzying variety of glass encasements featuring insects and reptiles, a large case, and trigger warning, by the way, and a large cage hanging in the corner, holding a small and surly vulture. Bookshelves are stuffed with papers, scrolls, and tomes in orderly-ish piles. There are shadow boxes on the walls holding dead insects, pinned open to display their inner anatomy. Teacher Lawa is there, kind of looking over her desk, looking through a scroll. Looks up as you all enter. Ah, great. You may have heard, I am the insect expert here. Kind of tucks a errant piece of her headscarf back into place. that means when the school has a bug problem, they like to make it my problem. And since this group of you, this group of yours are still on your perquisite period, I'm making it your problem. Something, or more likely several unrelated and coincidental things have been disturbing insects around the Magaambya. Enough to threaten the ecological balance if left unchecked. Anchor Root and a few others have told me that something seems to be agitating them. And for a moment, like, you do see some genuine concern cross her face. Proof that perhaps she's not as dismissive and disaffected as she seems to be.
Yep.
The look quickly fades. Go to the places on this list, take note of any strange activity, collect insect samples for me, and take immense care in collecting the samples. Further disruptions could cause the very problems I prefer to avoid. Kind of flaps a dismissive hand and returns to her work before going, and do remember to wash thoroughly before you return with my samples.
Sure.
Okay.
Hiraki's been smiling the whole time.
And she's like not looking anymore. She's like back over, like looking over her
No.
desk with some scrolls and stuff.
You're muted. You're muted, Star. Yeah. No, you're not muted. Oh,
I'm seeing no, I'm
God.
not muted.
Discord is just the worst.
Yay!
It's all good.
So I assume Arafe is just like kind of smiling a little bit because she's used to this being in her classes for several
Yes,
periods.
absolutely. Like, and you know her. She, first of all, it can be taken as a favorite, right? Like the way, like, you've been in her classes, you've been there when she doesn't show up sometimes, and it's usually like very hit or miss. But honestly, like, the students are like, yay, like, free time, we don't get to go, like, who's gonna really complain in that sense?
It just ends up with me and Anchor Root like looking at the bugs in her office.
Yeah, absolutely. So she has that kind of like disregard for the rules that can be kind of fun when you're on her good side, because you get to do stuff that you probably shouldn't otherwise. It's one of those things.
Yep.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. This is who I ran into many moons ago.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Oh, who you
That's
yelled
who you
at?
Yeah.
during the race.
During our race?
Mhm.
Ah.
I thought so.
And I know, like, she dismissed you, like, with the wave, but, like, you are allowed to, like, she's gonna give you this list, and, like, you know, you can talk to her. It's okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's less like he's like wanting to necessarily, but just he's enjoying this. Like, he's just like really having a good time with like literally all of it, the flippantness, like all of it, like really, because he's just still thinking about that day. And
by the way, she said she gave you, like, she's like, take this list, but she made no motion to, like, hand over a list or anything like that. She's like going back to her, like,
After
all the info.
after 10 seconds, Tal will just kind of like grab it.
You just grab something off her desk.
Well, I
Never
looked.
indicated there was a list, like what the list was.
Oh, I thought
she
that
was
you
like,
meant-
take
okay.
this list and
yeah,
just
not what's on
kept-
it or anything.
Oh, just kidding. Never mind. I misinterpreted.
No, you're fine.
Teacher, did you have an actual list for us, or do you need us to write it down?
Kind of looks around her desk and she's like, points at one. She's like, that. Just points it
I
out.
then go over and grab it.
Good.
And I don't know if I missed it. Did she say if these samples need to be like alive or dead, or?
She did
Okay.
not say.
She did not.
I'm going in and out so much. I'm like, I don't know if I'm just missing things.
No, you're
You
fine.
didn't. You super did, which is
You
why
ridiculously
like,
did
wow.
not.
Okay, that makes it a little better.
You're good. You're good.
Tal, looking at the list in front of you, there is the Leshy Gardens, the canal near the speaker stage, and the dining hall kitchen.
The dining hall kitchen. For bugs.
And after she like looks down for a second and goes back, and she's like, "Oh, looks back up. Talk to Anchor Root about centipedes too."
All right.
And after a second, she's like, "Anything else?"
Is there a time limit?
Do you want one, or do you want to do it as efficiently as you can? Don't take a week.
Sure.
Are these things poisonous?
They could be.
Probably.
Wonderful. That sounds about right.
I think we'll be okay. Anything else you're worried about?
She kind of like looks up. Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry. I'm used to you yelling at me instead. No, you're good. You can leave.
Thank you. It like bows.
And you see a little bit of a smirk on her face. Like she's like doing it because she's like, I can do this and get away with it. Like whatever.
we are on the same page. Is how he took that.
Yep.
It just spins around. All right. Does anyone have anything on their plate today, or do we want to just get started?
Close the door.
Okay.
I think
He is a
we
really
could
good
get started.
teacher.
I promise.
Art,
I promise.
Art shakes his head.
Well, Ark, she liked you too. Like you.
She did, but she's not a good teacher. She teaches nature crap.
Oh, Arafat will remember this.
Ark definitely didn't say that.
Yeah, Ark did not say that out loud.
because
That
it
was
didn't
me.
actually get said, but
Star will remember
Arafat
it
will
somehow.
remember this.
Art did
Taking
shake his head,
mental
though.
notes.
He definitely let on that, like, you can tell that he thinks she's probably a good teacher, but not for Art. Not like
Sure.
he remembers
Yeah.
that he went into that class and could not be taught anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, Arafat would also know, like, this is not a teacher for Ark.
Yep.
Like,
I think that's totally fair.
Well,
Where to first?
Do we still have the antidotes that we bought?
Mm-hmm. We do still have
Sure
4 of
do.
those.
Well, we're not necessarily looking for the insects, right?
We have to
The-
collect samples.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
But there has to be samples in order to collect them, right? So it's like we're like location hanging out at and just kind of exploring stuff and seeing what happens.
We really should have asked how big these things were.
Would it be more fun to just find
Or
out?
what kind of bugs they were.
Yeah.
Can I roll a nature
Or
check on recall knowledge of like what
anything.
would aggravate bugs?
What would aggravate bugs?
Yeah, they're
Loud
She said
noises.
they're getting like
Our
aggravated,
pure
right?
presence.
Yeah, she said.
Fire.
So she said that they there's something disturbing insects, but she was like saying like probably several unrelated and coincidental things.
Yeah.
But enough to threaten it. And she
Bugs are
goes,
being
Anchor
bothered.
Root and a few others have told me that something seems to be agitating them.
We should go talk to
You got
Anchor
a
Root.
list. You got a list of places.
Yep.
With like zero context. About
Well, I
any of
see-
them.
I see two. I make connections of 2 of them, but not for the bug reasons.
Well, in terms of like what bugs and everything, like to what Waffles was saying. But if you want a general sort of like nature insect check, go ahead and roll me a recall knowledge. Yeah, nature. Sure.
Wait, mine didn't roll.
Um,
Oh, there it goes. Perfect. As low as I wanted it to be. 12.
nice.
Okay. Make me also, because you're trying to actively think about like these types of things. Just make me a flat intelligence check.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Can I
prior to this?
assist?
Yes. First of all, wait. Yes to the question.
Should I make my flat check prior? My fatigue flat check?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot. Yes, let's make that be a part of this.
That's just a flat 1d20, and I gotta roll an 8 or higher, I think you said.
Believe that's
Yeah,
what was
DC
said.
8
Yeah.
flat check. So just a D20, please.
9.
Whew, that's a
Whoa.
Art feels
barely feels fine.
9.
It's like that. I'm functioning, but it's because I had 12 cups of coffee.
fine. Yeah. Yeah. Just to play that off a little bit, because I'm gonna play up the fatigue a little from cramming. You just like Art turned in early last night, and if he was with y'all like at dinner, he would have said like, "Yeah, okay, I'm going back to my room. That's it for me." Like. So.
So yeah, make me just a flat intelligence check, and because this isn't a specific roll, Hideaki, and therefore it's not the 20 set bar, we're gonna say no aid rather. 17. Flat. Amazing.
Art's smart.
Smart. You have no clue in terms of like insect nature side of things. There is one recent insect-like thing that you have seen recently.
Yeah, and we did that.
I did that. You did that.
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh. You all can think that. You all remember the insects that...
Smash some silverfish.
Yes.
Yeah.
One other thing comes to your mind, Ark. And I will message it to you.
Okay.
Character background stuff. Maybe.
Maybe.
Secrets.
Well,
More secrets.
as far as that thinking and stuff goes, based on like the teacher and Art not knowing a whole lot about insects, Art just thinks that Art doesn't say this out loud, but thinks to themselves that if she was a good teacher, she would have informed us more. Because we have no knowledge.
Savage. I have no knowledge, no memory of this place.
I think even with that, as they're, I'm assuming, walking and stuff, Hideaki kind of like perks up for a second. You know what's actually might make this even more interesting is, even though we're looking for, evidence of, or, samples of things, it's also kind of cool that we kind of get to sort of dive in deeper to places we haven't really like hung out at.
A little exploration's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, wasn't the speaker stage wasn't where we got attacked by those things, right? That was a different stage.
No, it's not.
That's where we did our little story play, wasn't it?
Vigilanti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a little like ceremony stage, which is not on the map. It's just
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then never mind. I have no connection to any of these places at all. I was forming theories in my mind, and they were unfounded.
So where are you guys beginning, or are you going back to ask Karita more questions?
I think it's Anchor Root.
Yeah, we were gonna go talk to Ingenuity.
You don't want to keep talking to Karita? You don't want to keep bothering her? It's fine. Just go talk to
Nobody
her.
likes her.
No. No.
None of our four group like her.
Well,
Not
That's
even
true.
Arafat.
Literally no one.
Speaking for Arafat. Just speaking for Arafat. Yep. Just carte blanche.
just like Waffles is doing the OBS production here. Just mutes Star.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not even Arafat.
The conspiracy revealed.
Okay, so you guys head to go find Anchor Root.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. You can find her back at the dormitory. At some you just kind of go looking for her. You find her at the dormitory. Not too big a deal. She's She's in her room. You can knock on her door. Oh, hi. Oh, I'll leave you here. Hi. Did I do something?
Ark will walk away.
I think Hideaki goes to, sees that Ark beat him to it, and just like, oh hey!
Oh, you. Did I upset him? Does he doesn't?
No, it's totally fine.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, actually, Tal, do you have the list still?
Yeah. So we went to go talk to. Well, Teacher Uwala wanted to talk to us about bugs.
Yeah. I talked to her a little bit about that. And, like, you can see, like, her demeanor, like, she is very expressive when there's things she doesn't like, and it's, like, Teacher Lawa is not one of them. Like, she's okay. Like, it's like, I talked to her about it. The bugs? The insects?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I noticed, I noticed just like a lot of pests recently, and particularly centipedes. They've been around a lot here, and like they were in like the dormitory, like the walls, and my familiar chicken, it keeps just keeps eating them, and it's been eating a lot of centipedes recently, and so I was worried because centipedes are kind of like venom in them and stuff. So I
Sure.
I know she likes. I was just talking to Teacher Ulawa on it a little bit.
Oh.
Well, because I was worried about the venom, so I got help with Shazira to make like a little centipede anti-venom as well for the chicken. But what did she talk to you about? Like, what do you? I'm sorry, I'm just talking. What can I? Did you have a question?
It's great. Actually,
we
loved
actually
it.
wanted to ask you about about the centipedes problem.
Oh, there's more centipedes?
Well, I will show Anchor Root the list.
We're not sure if there's more or less. We didn't get a lot of info.
Yeah, there's something bothering the bugs, which I guess could be centipedes, maybe. But
well, the centipedes are the bugs, and they're kind of been. There's been a lot of them recently.
Oh, so like they're just in places that they shouldn't be, maybe because the places that they're supposed to be are bad.
I don't know why. I mean, I was just kind of why I brought it up to Teacher Lawa, because I was just like seeing a lot of them.
And we're gonna go try to find out the truth. So we thought we would come and ask you for a little bit more info.
Oh, she sent you to figure out why they're here?
Yeah.
To figure out what might
What's
be,
happening?
What? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, in case, here, hold on. And she goes to like one of her shelves and takes out this little like what's like left of like a little cauldron type thing. I have just like a little bit left of this for like was for the chicken. But it's the stuff I brewed with Chazira. If you guys are gonna go looking for more bugs, you can have some.
Awesome, great idea.
Okay. And basically, she'll help like get some extra vials, and there's just enough in there that you guys can split it into 4 vials. And what you guys are basically going to get from here is you each can get 1 dose of moderate antidote. However, know that the fortitude, like the bonus for the antidote, is only for centipede against centipede venom. It's like specifically centipede antidote.
Got it. So like if it's another bug, then we would use the other antidotes that we have, and etc. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, when did this start? Just to put like a timeline together. Maybe even where it started.
I don't know. I mean, there's always been like a lot of bugs like around and stuff, and like that's why I have my chicken to help, clean up. It's actually really effective. I put her in a stick in the. I'm sorry. It's.
I was interested.
Recently, it was like a lot of I don't know, just a couple of weeks recently. There's just been, I don't know, I just feel like there's like more centipedes recently here, and they're all like they're trying to get in the walls and stuff here in the dorms and stuff.
Oh,
Do you know of anyone else who might have been noticing other bug differences?
I mean, well, if you have the Leshy Garden on your list, I mean, you could probably talk to the Leshies.
Oh,
That's not a bad idea.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know, like, it just, if they're all over. I just know about the ones here. But I would go look to the places that you have.
certainly. Oh man, we can see how they recovered from the tournament.
Oh yeah, you guys won. Yeah, good job, guys. That was really.
Oh, thanks.
You guys called the future? Is that what I heard?
I just like turn very slowly towards Hideaki.
That's like a. That's
Everybody's smile becomes a little more strained.
I did. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just heard the teacher Yuari say that, and so I just thought if that.
Oh, he did?
I'm sorry. Did I?
Right from the end. Sure.
Yeah. Did I? I'm sorry. Did I? Are you guys not the? You guys? Did I make a mistake?
You did not.
No.
You did not make a mistake.
Not at all.
Nope.
You did not make the way.
You are not the one who made the mistake.
It's okay. The future is unknown.
Boo! I am here for Waffles Pun Game, okay? I will protect
I'm
this
here
man.
for it because I can't leave.
Thank you, Maria, for saying how I felt the last 3 years of puns on the internet.
Well, I mean, I think it's like it's just hard to conjugate because it's like you're talking about a time, but you're like a group. I think, but like you know, it's cool.
I think you're
cool.
right.
Yeah.
I think it needs some reworking. I think the concept is good,
I think
but
it's
I think
cool.
it is a little bit too
Like,
a little too esoteric for a group of people.
I mean,
And I'm saying this and like saying it to Hideaki.
I mean,
And the best part is, he's
you
totally
can-
nodding.
I'm sure you guys can make it work.
what is he
though.
nodding
Like, it's like your thing. Like it could. You can like add like the future. I gotta go to class.
Oh no!
I'm gonna go, and then she
You
like
know
runs
what?
out of the room, leaving you guys in her room.
Hi,
I think-
Root. See you in
Oh wait, and
class.
she runs back and grabs her chicken. I'm sorry. Okay.
we'll close the door. Don't worry about it.
I was always wondering where the line was, and I found it. We found it.
I'll close the door.
I don't think there's ever gonna be an interaction that she doesn't end up running away from. But this was social awkwardness that she was like, I am getting at this.
I think we found her limit the first day we met her.
Yes.
Well,
I
you
think
know,
it's-
growth and stuff.
I really feel like it's just eye contact.
I don't know. That was a long time of eye contact.
Art took a step towards her once, and
and she melted.
Yeah, that was it. Come over. That was everything I wanted and so much more.
I want to look around like where we're standing while the two of them are kind of having their back and forth after this thing. I want to look around and see if I can see wherever Ark went.
Also, during this, when Ark or Anchor Root is so uncomfortable, I want to be like, we have been studying together for weeks.
Art,
Yeah, I mean, she's comfortable with you, but yeah, great.
We had a full like 5-minute conversation. Like she's comfortable with us.
Art's just
We
like
sat in silence together.
Art's,
Yeah.
Art's just down the hallway a little, just kind of like randomly looking at like pictures on the wall and stuff, just to
I love
keep
that.
Just
busy.
looking at a wall. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Where'd
that's,
our flyer go?
The flyer is gone. No. Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's kind of he excuses himself because he knows that Anchor Root isn't comfortable around them, but he still wanted to be like Like he's not like going to
Near,
lunch
yeah.
or something. Like he's still part of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, and you could have like heard most of this conversation. So like you didn't crowd her room. Really, is the deal.
Yeah.
So y'all heard. So there seems to be centipedes in the dorms, is what Anchor Root was saying. But you do each have the vial with you.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
Welcome
make
back.
sure that Ark gets
Mhm.
gets their vial.
Ark will
yeah,
begrudgingly take it. And like takes it.
So?
He like takes it and he's like, I don't really need it against poison, but I will. Thank you. If it did
Does
not
poison
cost,
not do
thank you.
anything against you?
Not as much. No.
Oh,
amazing.
Mechanically, I
So?
have +1 to poisons. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Great.
Nice.
Let's
Immune.
go.
That's all I heard. Got it.
Now hold on. What kind of
no.
bonus is that though?
I'll tell you because I have it written down. It is a circumstance bonus.
Well, wouldn't this be an item bonus?
Uh,
Is that how alchemical items? Don't yell at me, viewers.
yell at her, please. Call in.
I was like, I wasn't talking.
I said it so confidently, and then
You
I
did,
realized
and
I
I was like, who are we yelling
I'm listening
at?
to you,
Who's
badass.
being
Please.
yelled?
I assumed it was me.
We all
immediately.
agree with you. I did also assume it was Shubal.
Tell me you have
I
trauma
love you
without
so
telling
much
me you
for
have
that.
trauma. Why are we
It
yelling?
is an item bonus,
I knew it. Yep, 100% confidence there.
but
You're a point to badass.
But you
But-
haven't had to deal with poison anyway
yeah,
so
and who,
far.
like Art. I'm gonna go along the lines of Art doesn't understand what an item bonus is, and he just knows he's good against
That
poison.
is so. I love
I
that
mean,
so much.
fair, but at the same time, like, you're good against poison, and this is something that does something extra, like...
Can.
Just feed it to
Can.
Do you?
I
Do
understand.
Choices.
I
Let's do
understand. I understand.
You do you, GM.
You two.
Whatever. You're in this collaborative world. We're telling a story. Amazing.
All right, so you guys...
Poison.
You have these vials. You
got 'em.
have knowledge that there's centipedes in the dorms, and a reminder, because of what Hideaki said earlier, that your specific task is to collect samples of insects.
Truth.
That is all.
Typically, as typical, he heard what he wanted to hear.
You know, Yep. If my players will stop yelling at each other in chat.
We're children tonight. Today, this is great.
Yeah, I'm in child mode. It's mostly my fault.
No. No, it's fault. We're all to blame today.
There might be
Arafe,
a Waffles' fault, but
as you kind of go out down the hall and kind of like wait for everybody as Tal hands Ark the vial and everything, you hear a sound down the ways, and if you go double check or investigate.
Yeah.
You poke your head around the corner and you see Anchor Root, like you're like looking.
oh,
You see Anchor Root like holding her chicken and like walking out the door and then stopping and then turning back and like going to walk, stopping, turning back, going to walk out, stopping.
NPC
going
is
back
stuck in a
around,
loop, y'all.
Sees you and like, I forgot to say that the venom expires it's probably only like it's been lasting for a little bit, so it's probably like only good for like a day, and I didn't know if I like should go back and tell you because I already said goodbye. Okay, and just runs.
You don't need to worry.
we got it. We got the sentence. We got the sentence.
We got you. We got the whole sentence. It was great.
We got the whole sentence. It was great.
Very Anchor. We very much appreciate your help. We really do. We wouldn't be able to do this without you.
Thank you. Bye. Just kind of goes.
Yeah. As she heads up there, I'm like, we're gonna get out of your room, so whenever you want to go back, it will be empty.
You just see her like nodding profusely as she goes.
As Erife turns back to go back to the group, she goes, God, I love her. And just heads back to the group, and we'll let them know that I ran into Anchor Root, and she wanted to remind us that these only last for about a day. So we want to make sure that we, if we need them, don't feel like we should hold on to them for something else. If we need it, use it.
Got it. Time limit.
Can I give meta knowledge right now?
Yeah. I
Maybe.
love meta knowledge.
Depends.
It's
What is the
about
meta
it's about what Anchor Root is.
Adorable.
Yes, because you know about it.
Do
Good.
it? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I forget the
Probably.
subclass, but she's definitely an alchemist, and there's a very specific medical alchemist too. But alchemists, like when they make their potions, they only last for a day.
Okay.
Oh,
She's not an alchemist.
Oh,
no, but Shazira is.
She said she made it with Shazir.
Oh,
Shazira
gotcha.
is an
There you go,
alchemist.
there you go.
100,000%.
There you go.
I still love this knowledge anyway.
It's still really
Because of the alcohol,
cool.
it makes
Yeah.
more sense too. Yay!
Yeah.
Yes, please always explain the Pathfinder rules to D&D people.
Yes.
Always.
Because we are not, I have read some of this and it does not stick as easy.
I just pretend to go here and it's fine.
It's
So,
very
I do like
sad
that,
to
though.
say that we've been doing this for a year and we're like, we're still
We
new.
should go.
There we go.
I'm
do?
going to start walking to the Leshy Gardens because they're the closest to the dormitory. So if there's something weird happening, it's going to be at the Leshy Gardens. That's where Tal just starts walking. Because that's what I would do.
That's
So you
and
head
that's the
out
pitch
to
I
the
would
Leshy
make to.
Gardens. All right. Everybody going?
Yeah.
All right. Nobody looks for centipedes in the dorms, and you go to the Leshy Garden.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we're not. Because yes. I'm trying.
that's what happened.
Tal's mindset and my mindset are we can look for the thing that's making the centipedes and bugs do weird things first, not look for where the bugs are. That's where I'm at.
Chihuahua, please bring me back bugs. Students. Nope.
No, the interpretation was find out why bugs do bad.
Exactly.
I can get behind that.
Also, sublist. Maybe bring back bugs.
Take immense care in collecting samples. And make sure you wash thoroughly before returning with my samples.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Team members.
Odd request.
Miyaki?
wrote down, called us in to deal with a bug problem. Rather, something is bothering the bugs around the school. And they gave us a list of
I'm
stuff.
teasing y'all and I love y'all. So
Oh, I know.
We're just teasing back by explaining too much.
defending your actions
Neurodivergence.
not excessively at all.
Defending everything.
So you head off from the Spire dormitories towards the Leshy Gardens, which is between the sparring fields and the dorms. And this is like the main overgrown section of campus, and as is known, is the domain of several Leshies. The riotous Leshy Gardens is a tangle of trees and shrubs and vines, standing in the midst of like otherwise a carefully cultivated green space. The sparring fields are carefully taken care of. The paths and lawns in front of these school buildings are carefully maintained by the groundskeeper, but not here. You do see a small twisting path that does lead into this tangle of space. Is that where you head?
The weeds.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go.
Go into the woods.
Arc,
Now we're all like, no one
will
talk
attempt
now.
to lead.
Okay. So in you go. And as you go in and like curve your way through this path into the overgrown land, you come upon, you hear it before you see it, but you do come upon groups of like several little leshies out and about like in these little areas. and you see the constructs that were used in the tournament. And you see them kind of like working and repairing. It looks like some of them are like working on one of the constructs and like repairing it, and another is like trying to like break out like new pieces of bark, and another's like taking away like burnt charred wood and things like that as they're just kind of like repairing these things. One Leshy, and by the way, who all would have like which one of y'all, if anybody, has otherwise pursued these Leshies or seen these Leshies since the tournament? Would anybody have, like, interacted?
Absolutely not for Mark.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, Tal would have been too scared that they would be scared of.
Sure. So if you recall in the Starday tournament, there were mostly leaf Leshies. As you go in here, you see a few gourd Leshies and a few flytrap Leshies. And if you haven't seen any of these pictures before, I highly encourage you to look up gourd Leshies and all these Leshies. I love Leshies. Actually, I think I can. I might have pictures. I'll share later. But basically, oh yeah, hold on. I must show you guys flytrap Leshies. I can't post it here, so I apologize. But oh yes, I can show to players. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Oh my god, I love them.
It's a Venus flytrap Leshy.
Yeah.
They're super cool. And the gourd Leshies have little gourds on their heads and things like that are hollow and cool. Anyways,
played a gourd Leshy once.
The gourd are my favorite.
So
I have the internet and I found them. They are also amazing. Please use the internet safely.
So, as you kind of like approach, you see one gourd Leshy kind of like pop up and go, "Hello. What's up? What do you need? What do you need?
Bugs.
Bugs? Oh,
We were told that
you
there
calling us
was
bugs?
no. We were told that there was a bug problem, in that there was a problem that was affecting the bugs around here.
Oh, you did Karide? We told Karide about it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's kind of why we're here.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
we're just gonna.
you want to? Hi, by the way, I'm Shade and Autumn.
Shade and Autumn, nice to meet you, Hideaki.
Okay. That's an odd name.
Really? Oh, I want to know more why you think that. But this is also Tal and Arafe and R2.
Yeah, those are all like interesting names. Okay, so bugs, right? So yeah, we have some issues. So like wait, y'all won. I mean, y'all like.
I'm so glad you noticed.
How was I?
Looks around at like the other Leshies. Stood a fighting chance against us, but it's
You all
these
did great.
bugs. It's the bugs though that's why. It's their fault. We would have won otherwise, but it's fine.
Really? That's fascinating. You have to tell me more about that.
Well, because okay, so we have these beetles, right, that are chewing up on the bark, and they're making it weak, and that's why. So it's not our fault.
Tal's
Chewing
trying
on bark.
so hard not to be like, actually, we did really, really good and we won, and you're just being sore losers. But Tal does not say that. Is trying so hard not to.
Well, anyways, though, like, so are you looking for like Karide to like, because we told her, and she kind of like, I wasn't sure if she was even listening, so.
It's funny you should say that because
She wasn't.
Yeah, but like she's good at that stuff, so it's fine. Because she sent you guys. So
She's good at not listening? Because I agree.
No, she's like good at insects and stuff, you know? Like, she's like, everyone goes to her, so.
Oh, right. So that's why you all went to her. And so we're here because we wanted to get. I think we're on. Yeah. I think we're good. We're gonna.
You said the beetles were chewing on bark.
Yeah, we got one around here. Spring Breeze, go show him some.
Amazing name.
And you see a vine leshy go, and Waffles is cracking up because did I self-insert a previous PC of mine in here? Yes, I did.
And that is the power of the GM. My characters are now NPCs.
I know Spring Breeze meta.
Amazing.
I made it legally distinct. It's just Spring Breeze, not Spring Breeze meta.
She hasn't been to a meadow yet, right?
Yeah, she just hasn't been to it. She's Spring Breeze Glade, actually. So you see a vine leshy kind of go with a tangled mass of like vines that seem to be like whirling over her head, go into like one of these bushes, and some of the vines kind of extend out and pull basically like a shield from one of the constructs out and drags it forward in front of y'all. And you could see, why don't y'all make perception checks?
Oh, cool.
No. Yeah.
21.
Same.
I'm a hero point.
6.
Way better.
Arc is great at
22.
perception.
All right, 6, 22. What were the other two? Sorry.
21.
21.
Okay, so not Arc. Sees everybody else does. So you look over, and you see, like, I love that Arc keeps failing nature related things, even though this is perception.
Yep.
It's you're looking over the shield, and you see that like there are the beetles. There's some beetles on there that are chewing, through the wood, basically. And it's definitely, like, distinctly, like, chewing through the woods. But the thing that strikes you the most, for everybody that succeeded that check, is that the shapes that they're chewing out of are forming, like, strange shapes. It's not just, like, oh, chewing through bark. There's, like, the pattern of the chewing is, like, into some odd shapes and patterns.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. How long before the tournament did this happen?
Doesn't matter. Before the
Yes.
tournament.
We're trying to gain information, and
Wait,
I
their
utilize.
beetles are right there.
But I can't talk to the beetles. I can talk to you.
Yeah, they were here. They were here like a couple days before the tournament.
Perception check.
Go for it.
I'm gonna try to using kind of my claws as like pincers. Because how big are these beetles? Are they like mer? Are they like?
They're like mer beetles, like definitely like chewing away chunks of it.
Hideaki size,
I'm gonna-
you know.
Yeah. Definitely
Amazing.
the size of a Formosa. I'm gonna like try to pluck one and put it in. I don't know what we have. What do we have? Do we have like a little paper, like a little shoebox with holes? Is that what we're gonna hold all over?
Arc
We
jumps
didn't
out
grab
his
anything.
We
hand.
didn't get.
Oh,
we didn't get that
Jesus.
All right,
No.
Arc jumps out. Go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You find a container of
Cool,
these
great.
things.
Excellent.
I will
Alright.
not
we
torture
just get
you, so.
we just get go get jars. We're like right next to the dormitory. I run back and I grab
To
some
be fair.
jars.
Yeah, you go.
like
Easy
what was
fix.
the?
and I put some beetles inside of a jar.
Go ahead.
Or there you go.
While Tal is doing that, I guess I was wondering if these are any sort of bugs that I've run across in my studies with the teacher.
Okay. You want to make a nature check? You do that. And Hideaki, what was your perception?
18.
18. I mean, yeah, they're like being evasive. and clearly like, yeah, they were here. They were here before.
Yeah. Perfect.
Airfay.
Well, I think you
That's
fell
okay.
out
That's
of the
okay.
thing. Take your time. Take your time.
I got a 24.
Yay!
Ooh, amazing. Okay. So you're looking over these beetles, and in doing so, you're also looking over the patterns that they're making to see, like, okay, like what is this? Is this something that I've encountered? These are basic, run-of-the-mill bark beetles. They're beetles that consume bark as their sustenance. That's very normal. These patterns are not. But you can tell based on like the quantity, there's like an infestation of bark beetles. And Shade and Autumn is like, I want them gone. Like, can you just like, I asked Creative for help. Like, I just want them gone. Like, because they're ruining our stuff. I mean, they've been ruining our stuff.
For just a couple days.
With that nature check, the patterns strike you as interesting and almost runic.
That's interesting.
Hey. Go ahead.
Are
Yes.
okay, I'm back. These look kind of runic. Does this make any sense to you?
Can Ark look at the runic stiffs now that it's been pointed out?
Make an Arcana check. That's a nat 1.
I'm gonna hero point.
Please do.
Yes.
Get it out of here. Come on.
Get out of here.
Get it out of here.
It's the fated nat 1 to nat 20.
Oh my god.
Nope.
7. Perfect. DC was 16.
Hype.
Yeah.
Well, this is your area of study, Ark. As the building blocks of magic have been your focus even from the fundamentals you learned before school.
Mm-hmm.
And the core components of these resemble strongly runes that relate to summoning or conjuration. And they're striking enough to be like, these are the basic runes-ish.
Yes, I do believe they pertain to the conjuration school, maybe summoning type of magic.
Wait, there's magic in these? Wait, they're magic beetles?
No, the runes they
Oh!
are eating are.
I'm going.
Can you get rid of them, please?
I'm gonna cast detect magic. Hearing that, B2W.
Okay. that's definitely what it was. So you don't particularly detect magic on these beetles or otherwise. These seem to be the starts of foundational runes that are not magical, like, yet of themselves. It's like when you learn to write, it's not a sentence yet.
Right.
It is simply things that look remarkably like letters in here for some reason, and that's very impressive for beetles.
Okay, so they're chewing out I was gonna ask where these runic symbols were. They're chewing out what looks like runic symbols. They're not on
so
the beetles
basically
themselves.
they
Okay.
were chewing weird patterns, and Arafay noted that was kind of like runic-esque looking. And that's what Ark identified them as, specifically, like, they look like the fundamentals of summoning and conjuration.
Yep.
Alright, or conjuration.
If this is the case, and these are not the only beetles, I assume there's probably more on trees and stuff, then we should check it out, because there may be other runic symbols deeper that actually mean something, not on a shield that moves.
You take your time to look around the area. I'm gonna say collecting beetles and doing your best to get rid of
Sure.
Well, let me actually ask. Karina wanted samples. She didn't say, like, get rid of the problem necessarily. So do y'all just take samples, or do you try to, like, after you take samples, do anything about the beetles. Or take as many as you can or something.
I have my answer,
I think.
but I'll let
Okay.
one of
You want to go first?
No, you go.
Okay. So, kind of in the midst of gathering the beetles and things, and I'm assuming not finding anything, mostly but that. But I forgot the lustrous name again. I'm so sorry, Syrup.
Shady Norton.
There you
Shady
go.
autumn.
Shaded autumn. So you want us to remove the beetles?
That's what we asked Karine to do.
That's interesting. Now, that's
What's
information
interesting
that
about it?
she...
We just want the beetles gone.
Okay. No, that's okay. I just wanted
Where are
to
they
know.
going? They're going to look. The beetles are right here. As the people that start going looking for runes in the trees and stuff.
Yeah, sure, certainly. This actually might be a bigger problem elsewhere. So we're kind of taking our time to get it right.
Oh, so
do you mind?
Don't they get the last one, right? Like always, it's always that case.
I'll make a promise to you.
I'm gonna tell them the same.
He just looks.
They were the first ones we went to.
Right, exactly. And you can talk to whoever you would like to. But it sounds like we're the first person decides who you reached out to come here. So you would probably do better if you were nice.
With the funny names. I mean, Creed is also a funny name.
And yet we're here anyway. So we care.
Okay.
And all we're asking.
Mean, like you're getting angry. We just want the beetles gone.
I actually really like you.
Okay. You're okay.
It's a start. And I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Once we figure it out, if you just give me a little bit of time, I'll make sure to remove the problem for you.
Okay. Kind of turns around to like some of the other Leshies and like goes, they're not gonna get rid of them now. They're gonna get rid of them later, I guess. Just like reside, like or whatever.
During most of this time, Ark has been walking around and taking all of the beetles that are on the Leshy things and putting them off of the Leshy things.
And now I have a question as to how far, like on like a different tree, or just
ground.
like puts it like a 5 inches to the right,
like a foot max. It's like takes them and
you
then
just toss them into like the tree.
Basically, yeah. Not hard enough to kill them, but he's like we're getting rid of them. If they get back on, it's clearly your fault.
Perfect. Great. Okay, so basically y'all have your samples of the beetles, easy enough, and you go to take a deeper look at some of these runes. You only really find them wherever the beetles are. There's not many necessarily, and they're kind of mindless. So like as you go and look at like some of these things, you see some are like just chewing regularly, some are chewing into patterns, some chew into a pattern and then go back to eating regularly. It's like very mindless. And you don't like, you see similar-ish different kinds of like base runes there, repeating forms, nothing else of interest. Really, that's all kind of in that similar vein.
Ark will draw a couple of the runes, just like real quick.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
And he'll make a point to kind of catch up with everybody. How are y'all feeling?
Underwhelmed.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just bugs.
Sorry, we got you. No worries. But keep in mind, we still have 2 more places at least to check out.
Are you trying to make this bug field trip more exciting?
Yeah, I'm being very honest with you, Tyler. Yeah, definitely I am.
And he did the same thing with the mill.
Oh.
Look, I'm just trying to see this as fun because the last time we went looking for bugs, bad things happened.
Yep.
Well, at least we're on the school property this time, which
That's true. That's very true.
says something small.
The tree stump was on school property as well.
So was the celebration stage.
So was
So
Tal's
was
death.
my room.
That was the one Arafe was thinking of, is the fact that last time we went looking for bugs to actually collect them,
I died.
somebody died.
I was
I was there for
about
that.
almost all
I
of it.
was there, I know.
Well, we do know what is in the dormitory, so maybe that is the next place at least.
But the dormitory isn't on the list.
Extra credit?
That's what I mean.
But we know there are centipedes
Just
there,
points.
right?
At some point, at least.
I guess.
See? Field trip doesn't mean it has to be only 3 places that we go to before it's over, right?
Or
Tiaki, I know you're trying very hard.
I'm sorry, I'm really trying hard.
since we do know what is there, we go somewhere else where it may be more dangerous. So we are all of our... Waffles has
That's
no
a good
way to
idea.
say like mechanical health and spells. We have all of our energy.
Our resources.
Our wits about us.
Well,
We're not tired yet if we go there.
why don't we continue going around and go to the speaker stage then? Or the canal, I guess. The canal it's very big.
No. Speaker stage. It's the canal. Like, the speaker stage is the canal. It's the canal by the speaker stage, is what she specified.
And then
Right,
the-
but
and then
there's
the
still
dining
a
hall.
lot of there's still a lot of space around the speaker stage. The canal it's just all the water, right?
I mean, yes.
Water
That's
bugs.
what Tal was inferring.
Let's go swim.
Like,
So
Nothing
as
can go
so
wrong there.
far, if
Right.
it's insects acting different, then it's been potentially noticeable or
It's been.
something, you know.
potentially.
You can go
Potentially.
and find out, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
correct. I know. I'm still going. Tal just wanted to comment that there is sure is a lot of water there.
We're on fire tonight, y'all.
showing that the teacher's not really telling us a whole lot. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We're smart.
I mean, she is a big believer in figuring things out yourself, you know.
But then how do you
So she's everyone that's ever worked here ever?
She's like every college teacher ever that just tells you to learn yourself.
But then if you learn
I-
it wrong,
Stares
it's
into the camera.
bad.
I'm talking about my OChem
Bad
professor.
Speaker stage. We're here. Wow.
All right, you guys are going to the
Look at
speaker
this.
stage. And that's where you're going next? Yes? Got it.
think so, yeah.
Great.
Yes.
I'm driving this plot. Let's go. Choo
It's a
choo.
rare ass episode. Let's fucking go.
Wow, y'all. Okay. The west end of the island that is the Magaambya is... Ooh, right.
Water.
Waffles, why
It
are you
took me a
so good at
second.
this so quickly?
My brain was like, whoa.
Looks suddenly so calm.
So the west end of the island upon which the Magaambya was built extends into the canal on an artificial island. There are several large stone basins that form a ring around a grand stage that sits on top of this artificial island, magically illuminating it. You've been here once before when
We did
Doing one of
story
your-
time.
yes, story time. This stage, as you guys have been at the school for long enough, and you guys are familiar, it was designed as a place where representatives of the school can make pronouncements to Natambu. But as you have learned before, it's also used quite frequently to put on stage plays and things like that for the citizens, which are quite popular in the city. There's only kind of like one unspoken rule to these performances, is that they have to be free of charge. Because it's just general audience.
Yeah.
Well, as you go towards this island, you see little, like, it takes you a second. You go towards the island, and this, unlike most of the island of the Magaambya itself, where you have to find like kind of different pathways down to the water because it's of the way it's heightened up off the shore. The artificial island has like a sort of gradation where you're able to kind of go close to the water when you go off the stage down towards like where the basin of lights are. So where you go down here, as you kind of go take a look around the water, you see the water is definitely like look like the surface of it looks off. And it takes a second, you're like, wait, what is that? And as you kind of try to focus on these tiny things, you see do you guys know what water striders are?
God!
I live in Florida. I'm a damn expert.
Yeah. These delicate little water striders are crowding around the island. They're skating back and forth across the water, darting here or there, and they seem agitated. They seem to be like making quick darting movements here or there, and there's so many that seem to be crowding around the island, but they're moving so quickly. Definitely different, interesting, of note.
Yeah. Is what Tal says. That was Tal and me, but also Tal.
Ugh. We collect some.
Oh, you would like to think so, wouldn't you?
I love that.
Well,
Easy.
I mean, yeah, all I do is I open a jar and I put it in the water and I scoop them out with some of the water. Easy.
Mm-hmm. Easy, you say. Except the agitated water striders dart back and forth so quickly that as soon as you go to disturb the water, they and skate away from you.
Oh.
And you realize this is going to take some interesting, maybe like quick-handedness, perhaps some different checks, and perhaps some different
acrobatics
shenanigans.
because I've got some fancy new bangles.
However, what we're going to do is pick this up next time.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Bugs.
Bugs.
They're everywhere.
Is there a bonus for living in Florida in real life?